secretary that loves stuff like this too. I got my eyes on you. I'll be watching you. It's work, right? And so he has to be the person who does it. Yeah, exactly. He has to know me after.
I don't need to put in the 3 hours.
You thought you looked at it like this, huh?
Hey, it looks comfy. But if you want me to move for, okay, you can just let me know. Do you have a good view, or would you like me to move back a bit? You're good? Okay.
We'll start in 1 minute.
Well, he just issued executive.
Well, we're in church.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I know. Oh, there she is. Thank you.
What?
Good morning, I'm Carol Titleman. For those of you who haven't been here before, welcome. I'm the president of the club. To my right, we have Holly Hayes, who's secretary. In the back, greeting you is Tammy Cheatham, our vice president. And over there in a great hat is our treasurer, Clint. And then we have Jonathan, who is our social media guru, tech person, logo maker, et cetera, et cetera. So I'd like to recognize some of the folks in this room today who have gone a step beyond what some of us do and put their name on the ballot and then got elected. So I see Kelly Daniel and Renee Mitchell from our school board in the back. What? Oh, and up for election again. She's putting her name back on the ballot. So we'll be looking forward to working on that election this fall, Jean Mayer. And as I'm scanning the room, we have Councilperson Jonathan Kaufman, our Mayor Doug Weiss, our President, Mayor Pro Tem, right? Kim Holiday. And if I missed you, oh, you're getting really a long introduction later, but Commissioner Jeff Travillion. So I'd like to have David Bartholomew come up and read our grounding statement for us so we can get started.
County employee.
Thank you, Commissioner Travillion.
Okay, this is our grounding statement. In our meetings, events, and activities, we value diversity, we advance equity, we demonstrate inclusion, we are a community. We are change makers and advocates who come together in partnership to work toward a future that promotes freedom, equality, opportunity, security, responsibility, and justice. We would like to begin this meeting by sharing our statement of intention and purpose. Our intention is to foster a robust presence of diversity, equity, and inclusion of and for all individuals and groups choosing to join our efforts. Our purpose is to work to support at all times policies, officials, and candidates who work for the inclusion of all people in social and economic equity, political discourse, suffrage, and who fight against conditions and actions that originate in prejudice and intolerance. Consistent with the rules of the TCDP, we commit to an environment that is free of harassment, abuse, and violence in all activities and interactions.
Thank you so much. Another elected official just came in the door, so President of our school board, Siobhan Woodrico-Jones. And her name's on that ballot for the fall too. So 2 folks running for re-election this year. I'd like to now introduce Kim Holiday, our Mayor Pro Tem, and the moderator for the next portion of our program. As she gets up here, though, I want to say she and I went out door knocking during her campaign, and I didn't know it was the first time she'd done it. And she was a natural, of course, because it's Kim. And she just walked right up to the door and started talking to people. And after about 15 or 20 houses, she goes, I'm not sure about this. And I said, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. And by the end of the night, I think she almost was ready to go out again. Almost.
Thank you so very much. I'm honored to stand before you. My name is Kimberly Holiday. I sit in place number 3. I am excited to serve our city, especially people with lived experience, because that's who I am. I thank a lot of people in this room for helping me get elected to that seat, especially Carol. Many of you do not know I'm actually an introvert. And so the whole thing was, I asked God, since we're in the church, I'm going to just tell him again. So you really want me to walk up and down Pecan Street holding a sign, and you know my lived experience? And the answer to that was absolutely yes. I've been grooming you for this for a long time. And while you may not have known the name that you were advocating, that's exactly what you've been doing. So I'm just going to elevate you to a new level so that you can be in new rooms and do the very same thing. So just because of the title, you still got Kim showing up. And yes, I did gain 50 pounds during the campaign, because even though we were knocking on doors and all of that, I was eating all of my fears all night long. And so I just want to be honest about that. Running a campaign is not easy. It is not for the weak or the faint at heart. But do not wait until you think you are ready. If you have been tapped on your shoulder, someone has called you, you're already ready. So let's do it. All right. So none of that was on my notes. And by the way, I don't even know the agenda. I know it runs really fast and we're going to be out of here. Okay? So, but today we are here to focus on Pflugerville Black-owned families. And I welcome each of you into a safe space today. A space of non-judgment where you get to be yourself. This is going to be, I don't know how they normally do it here. When I was running for my campaign, I didn't want to join because I didn't want anyone to think I was just joining because I needed them for the campaign. And so I just want to be really real and honest about that. And so we're in a safe space today where you get to interact. We need your feedback. We need your input. Pflugerville is extremely diverse. And today we are highlighting just a few, I have to throw that in. Just a few of our Black-owned businesses here in Pflugerville. But we want to elevate the conversation today around what we can do to support all businesses in Pflugerville, and especially Black-owned businesses within Pflugerville. So, also before I go any further, I must just take a moment and pause and say that while I still feel anxious just thinking about knocking on doors, I must summon my DeJ energy. Her energy was so high. Sometimes when she would come in the room, I would run because she elevates all of my A, B, C, D, Z, all of that. But she used every single one of her gifts and talents to fight for us and for what she believed in. And so for just a moment, if we could just give DeJ a round of applause. Yeah. And I wrote on my notes, not only for you, as I minister to you, I minister to myself. When you get tired, Kimberly, rest up, cry, ask for help, but whatever you do, don't give up. All right, so now I have the opportunity to present very quickly our businesses that are in the room today, and also thank you to all of our elected officials who are here. We have the Collaborative Advocate, Integrated Services and Solutions LLC, Black-owned, veteran-owned. Terry, please stand up. This is a Pflugerville-based consulting and technology firm founded in 2021 by Dr. Terry D. Flood Sr. He is an Army retiree. Come on. The firm helps the public sector clients healthcare systems, and community organizations design AI-enabled workforce, health equity, and benefits navigation solutions. Once again, we welcome Dr. Terry D. Flood to the room, the collaborative advocate. So if any of you are business owners like me, you are looking for ways you cannot hire 5 people. So what can we do? I am scared of technology, but I need to use a small piece of it. So if you're like me, please get with someone who can help you elevate. All right. Next we have Graced and Saged. Her outfit even matches the name. Graced and Saged. I'd like to welcome to the room April Kearney. She's the founder of Graced and Saged Trichology, as well as Wellness and Bling Salon, where beauty and wellness meet. With over 30 years in education and holistic care, she helps women restore confidence and balance from where? From the inside out. If you want to know why I look so beautiful, just ask April Kearney. Yes. Through her beauty from the inside out philosophy, April teaches that true beauty isn't just about your lifespan, but it's about your health span. So when you step into her salon, it's a whole experience. I usually have to block out the whole day because I'm going into different centers and doing different things and also using aromatherapy. Not only is she washing my crown, but she's addressing everything inside of me and she's speaking to me. So again, we welcome April Kearney to the room. All right, you do not see her here, but I must acknowledge her. It is Cranky Granny Sweet Rolls. And all I'm gonna say to you, if you haven't tried it, just go taste it and find out. Okay. And we also have Shackley in the room with us. Her son is with us this morning, but we have Coletta Haskins. And you all know her very well from the Chamber of Commerce. You may not have known, but she is an RN and she is a wellness coach with nearly 30 years of experience helping individuals and families live healthier through nutrition, weight management, and using non-toxic products through her partnership with the Shackley Corporation. And if you're following them on social media, you will see her and her husband. It is like a marriage ministry around nutrition and wellness. You will see them walking in the rain, in the sun, and they just be smiling like it's so wonderful. You know, I just love it and keep on moving. But once again, we welcome Shackley to the room and we look forward to having conversation. A lot of sweetness up in here, balanced with nutrition. I feel conflicted. Hi, my name is Kim and I'm an overeater. Hello. This is still 200 pounds for those of you who say I look like I've lost a lot of weight. Woo! It is work. So, founded in 2014 by an engineer. What? She went from technology to the cake artist. I welcome to the room Patricia Bedford from Sugar's Catering. And by the way, she is an award-winning bakery located right here in the heart of Pflugerville, inspired by her grandmother, Sugar. It doesn't have an R on it, Sugar. Okay? And the shop specializes from scratch recipes. That's what it's trying to say, and desserts. Thank you so much for being here. And I also know for a fact that when I first got elected, PCDC was very instrumental in helping you elevate your business. And PCDC is in the room, economic development. So we want to make sure we give them a round of applause as well. For those businesses in the room, you also need to know that there are opportunities. So we have economic development in the room. I just had to throw that out there. Show them your magazine and all of that they put you in. All right. Next, we have located in Pflugerville, Fire Dragon Martial Arts Institute. It is a family-oriented dojo, all right, led by Grandmaster Moses Williams. The school specializes in diverse martial arts styles, including spiritual kung fu, what? And Tang So Do. Okay then. I want to learn some of that too. They empower students of all ages to build confidence, discipline, and self-defense skills. Once again, we welcome Fire Dragon Martial Arts Institute in the room. Thank you so much. I think that's everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Kimberly will be back up here in just a bit. I have the honor now of introducing somebody that I just met last fall, but she's already become a really important part of my life. I find that I think about her at least 2, maybe 3, 5, 10 times a week. She has opened my eyes into other parts of the community in which I don't usually travel. She has made me feel absolutely terrific about being me, which is a skill that I think is something special to her. She also has traveled the world. She is now here and she likes popcorn, I hear. But she also is working with international economic development, and she's also part of economic development right here in Pflugerville. And to speak to us this morning is my friend, DeJ Lozada.
Sweet lady. First of all, good morning. All the elected representatives, I want to take time to acknowledge your presence and also everyone that's here to support this wonderful organization. My name is DeJ Lozada, as she mentioned, and I have been a resident of Pflugerville for the last 20 years. Raised my family here. I love this community. I am so proud to call Pflugerville home. 10 years ago, I made a decision that changed my life. After spending years in federal and state government, I walked away from public service and became a full-time entrepreneur. I started a company called Soul Pop Gourmet Popcorn in early 2016. I started the company with $53 and turned it into an international brand. There was no storefront, no investors, no business inheritance, no secret formula to success. There was just me, a product I truly believed in, and the backseat of my car. That's where I sold my product. Like many entrepreneurs, I was trying to figure out everything out one day at a time. At one point, I called the largest farmers market in Central Texas, and I asked them what it would take for me to become a vendor. The woman on the phone explained that there were 400 other vendors waiting for a space. 400. So that would have been the perfect time for me to hang up and just walk away defeated. But instead, I asked a different question. I said, how many of those vendors are Black? There was a pause. And then she said, when can you start? Now, I share that story not because I was looking for special treatment. I share it because it reveals something important. Sometimes opportunity is not about just qualifications. Sometimes it's about opportunity and representation. Sometimes it's about realizing that entire groups of people are missing from spaces where they should already be present. I became the first full-time African-American business at that market. And what happened next was something worth paying attention to. Over the next few years that I was there, the market didn't suffer because they had their first Black-owned business. It became stronger. More customers came. More diverse customers came. More Black vendors came. Isn't that right? Sugars. Because when Black businesses succeed, they do not succeed alone. They create value for everyone around them. The issue was never about were there Black entrepreneurs. The issue was whether the systems that we all rely on were connected and open to their inclusion. As we enter another election season, I believe we need to have an honest conversation about what it means to start, grow, and sustain a Black-owned business in a rapidly changing community like Pflugerville. I really want to thank the Pflugerville area Democrats for giving me the opportunity to be here with you all today. As I said, I have lived for the past 20 years in Pflugerville and call this wonderful city my home. I love Pflugerville. I currently serve as the Vice President of the Pflugerville Economic Development Corporation, where I have the privilege to work alongside other dedicated Pflugervillians, like our esteemed board president, Mr. Darrell White, and the Honorable City Council Member, Rudy Mateer, as well as the Executive Director who's here with us today, Mr. Jerry Jones, and his exceptionally talented and experienced team. When I was asked to speak about Black business in an election year, I found myself thinking about the simple question: what kind of community do we want Pflugerville to become? Not what kind of community we are today. Not even what kind of community we were 20 years ago. But what kind of city do we want our children and our grandchildren to inherit? Because every election, every policy decision, every budget vote, every economic development initiative is ultimately about answering that question. What kind of community do we want to build? And I believe that one of the clearest measures of a healthy community is whether everyone has a fair opportunity to participate in prosperity. That includes Black entrepreneurs, Latino entrepreneurs, women-owned business, veteran-owned businesses, immigrant-owned businesses, and first-gen businesses as well. But today, I want to speak specifically through the lens of a Black business owner, because the Black experience often reveals truths about our economy that affect everyone. If we pay close attention to those lessons, we can build a stronger community for everyone. Because the reality is that Black entrepreneurs has always been an act of hope. Historically, Black Americans often started businesses not because opportunity was abundant, but because opportunity was restricted. When employment opportunities were limited, Black communities had no choice but to build their own. When access to capital was denied, friends and families learned how to pool their resources. Historically, when systems excluded us, we created businesses that served the needs that others were more than willing to ignore. Black entrepreneurship has always been about more than just profit. It has been about dignity. It has been about self-determination, community investment, and creating possibilities where none would otherwise exist. That spirit remains alive today, yet many Black entrepreneurs continue to face challenges that others may never have to consider. Studies consistently show disparities in access to capital, to startup capital, even when credit scores are similar or even the same. Many Black-owned businesses began with less personal wealth, fewer inherited assets, smaller professional networks connected to investors and to lenders. For many, a business loan might be what gets them started, accumulated from years of family wealth that they accumulated over generations. But for others, especially in the Black community, that safety net just does not exist. There is only determination. The challenge is not a lack of talent. After all, we are the people who invented rock and roll, peanut butter, GPS, and butter pecan ice cream, just to name a few.
I got to clap for something.
Hey, give it up. It is not a lack of work ethic. It is often a lack of access. And access matters because talent is universal, but opportunity is not. Opportunity has to be intentional. That is why elections matter. Not simply because of who wins, but because government decisions shape the environment in which businesses either thrive or struggle. At the national level, we see this played out in lending programs, procurement policies, infrastructure investment, workforce development. access to education, and to capital. At the state level, decisions about transportation, education funding, workforce training, broadband access, housing affordability, and the overall economic landscape play a huge part. But it is at the local level, that's where most people experience government most directly. Most people will never meet a senator. Most people will never testify to Congress. But what they will do, they will apply for permits. They will seek local contracts. They may even attend a city council meeting from time to time. They will open businesses. They will educate their children. They will hire local employees if they're lucky enough to start a business. And that means that local government has tremendous power to either lower barriers or to create them. When local leaders support small business development, everybody benefits. When permitting processes are transparent and affordable, everyone benefits. When entrepreneurship training is accessible, again, everyone benefits. When public contracts are fair, competitive, and open to all, everyone benefits. When economic development strategies intentionally include businesses from different backgrounds and neighborhoods, guess what? Everyone benefits. That is not charity. It is smart economic development. The question is not whether Black businesses deserve special treatment. The question is whether our systems are helping all qualified entrepreneurs compete and succeed in a community like Pflugerville. A thriving local economy requires more than attracting outside investment. It requires cultivation. The next great employer in Pflugerville may already live here. That innovative company that we all want to see in our community may already be operating from a home office or a garage or in a shared workspace. What they need is opportunity and support. Imagine a Pflugerville where more Black-owned businesses are growing, hiring, and expanding. Imagine those businesses purchasing services from local accountants, attorneys, marketers, bankers, printers, and suppliers. Imagine those employees buying homes, supporting schools, shopping locally, and contributing to our overall civic life. And then imagine that as a multiplier effect. Economic growth is not a pie where one group receives a larger slice and everyone else gets the leftovers. Economic growth is something we create together. Every successful business expands that pie, and every entrepreneur who succeeds creates opportunities for others. That is why the theme of this talk that I'm having here today is when Black businesses succeed, all businesses succeed. Because success is contagious. Opportunity is contagious. Investment is contagious. And confidence is contagious. A business district that welcomes Black entrepreneurs becomes more vibrant for everyone. A city that embraces inclusion becomes more competitive. A community that expands opportunity becomes more prosperous. And perhaps most importantly, a community that allows people to see themselves reflected in its economic success strengthens social trust. People begin to believe they belong. They begin to believe their contributions matter. They begin to believe the future includes them. And that belief is powerful because ownership fosters pride. Pride promotes dignity, and dignity ignites innovation. As we move through another election season, I encourage us to think beyond campaign slogans and partisan divisions. Ask deeper questions. What are candidates doing? What are they proposing to support entrepreneurship? How will they strengthen small businesses? How will they ensure economic opportunity reaches every corner of our community? How will they create an environment where local businesses can thrive alongside these larger corporations? These questions matter because economic opportunity is one of the most effective ways to strengthen communities. A job creates income. A business creates jobs. A thriving business creates community wealth, and community wealth creates stability, investment, and hope. The future of Pflugerville will not be built by government alone. It will not be built by business alone, but it will be done with those two entities working together. My hope that is in 10 years from now, when people talk about Pflugerville, they describe a city that understands something important. A city that recognizes diversity is not merely a social value, it is an economic advantage. A city that understands inclusion is not just the right thing to do, it is the smart thing to do. A city that intentionally creates pathways for entrepreneurs from every background to succeed is a city that has become stronger, that has chosen opportunity over exclusion, possibility over fear, and partnership over division. Because when Black businesses succeed, they hire workers from every community. They buy goods and services from every community. They contribute tax revenue that serves every community, and they help create prosperity that benefits us all. And that is why this conversation is not only about Black business, it's about the future of Pflugerville, and it's about the future we will choose together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I now have the honor of introducing a county commissioner who I got to know a little bit better a couple times. He came out to our picnics and he's been here for other meetings. But I also ran into him on a bus in Chicago and had a delightful conversation as we were kind of high on the right, what is that old song, high on the real things? But we were coming out of the DNC that evening and everyone on the bus was just giggling and happy and wonderful, and we were slapping each other's backs and having a good old time. But I'd like to introduce Commissioner Jeff Travillion, who has been part of our community for a very long time, who has given back to the community in so many different ways, and who is now here today to tell us a little bit more about what's going on in that community.
Okay, now this could be dangerous because I was not given a time limit. But, you know, see, I won't go too long, but I'll say this to you. You know, I believe that you judge a society and ultimately the institutions that serve that society by the way it treats its most vulnerable members, by the way that we treat our children, and then by the way that we respect and treat our parents and grandparents. You know, at the end of the day, somebody got us here. When we talk about Black entrepreneurship and when we talk about the African American story, I always think of the glass as half full, not half empty, because I recognize that even throughout all of the challenges, look at what we have become with the support of each other. How do you become what you are? Because you have friends, you have mentors, you have supporters, you have a community that helps lift you up. Nothing really important, I think, happens just because of our singular effort. It happens because we decide to work together. I think that we only get the community that we deserve when we build it together. And now is a time that really reminds us of why this is necessary. I moved here in '96. We were expecting my daughter. We were expecting Paige alive, actually named her. And one reason I moved here, I moved from Austin. I had sued the school district 4 years in a row as the NAACP president. So folks would say, well, now why would you sue the school district? Well, you remember that's when the TOS test came out. You remember that discussion? Well, there's a chapter in the administrative code that says when a child fails one of the 3 sections of that test, that they be immediately put into a remedial program that will bring them up to grade level. And rather than building after-school programs, rather than building tutorial programs, rather than finding peer mentors in schools, what AISD did was it took the kids that failed the exam and put them in special ed, so they didn't have to be tested. And I'm a child of teachers, child of principal, and a home economics teacher. And I understand that it is the expectations of the parent, of the teacher, of the community that guide the success of a child. So if you say, I can't, as a teacher, you can guide a kid in so many ways. You can say, oh wow, you're smart. I want you to read this book. I read this book and I really thought about you. You can make something of yourself if you take this path. Or you can say, this happened to my oldest son in 8th grade. He was a really good athlete and a pretty good student. We made him take AP classes. So he had a question of his geometry teacher in 8th grade. Asked the teacher the question. The teacher said, I'm not going to answer that question. You ought to know that. He said that to the teacher's kid. And I asked him, so I'll make a long story short, I wrote a letter asking the principal how it is we had teachers in the classroom that would not speak to or help a child understand the A, challenge themselves in being in an AP class, B, was doing his homework and working hard, C, wanted the assistance. This guy had other personal problems, other relationship problems that made it difficult for him to work for a child that fit my child's description. We made sure that was also part of the lawsuit process. What we tried to make sure of is that all children are served and all children are challenged. Here you have a kid that says, well, black kids don't want to learn. They say, well, they won't take math and geometry. They won't. And you got somebody who did and you didn't help. It's important for us as a school community to make sure that we're monitoring what goes on in our area. It's important that we make sure that we've got personal relationships on campus so we can address things when we need to. I said all that to say that I didn't want to make a negative story. My son actually, we sat down, had a conference with his counselor, with his teacher, with the principal, and we decided that maybe this wasn't the best class for him to be in, because a lot of kids who had my son's demographic description had difficulty in that guy's class. So we made sure that we put him in another class, and he ended up getting an A. Now, how does that happen? Why does that happen? At the end of the day, we have to understand, once again, that freedom is not free and freedom is not permanent. And we have to understand our history well enough to know the things that we're experiencing now as a country, we also experienced right after World War I. Right? Who's heard about the Red Summer of 1919? Okay. You had a lot of people that had served in World War I, and they felt that if they served in World War I, that when they came back, they would be treated as citizens like everybody else. That was not the case. We see that period of time, the Red Summer, you had a lot of lynchings, and a lot of the guys that were lynched were assaulted because many of them were wearing relics of the war, whether they were wearing uniforms, whether they were wearing medals. They wanted you to know I served. And if I served, you're supposed to treat me like you treat everybody else. Many of them were lynched instead of being treated well. We saw a lot of the same things. We saw a president and a Congress and a judicial system that did not serve them. We saw people being moved out. We saw all of the things that we expected from Reconstruction. We saw all the things we expected didn't happen. And we thought, well, we'll chip away, which is why I talk about entrepreneurship being so important. I said because of this. Sometimes when you don't, the question you mentioned before was of opportunity, but of access. Do I even have access? What happens to me when I go to the bank? What happens to me when I go to my school district? You know, we have seen many instances. When we first started talking about disparity studies and we first started talking about African American entrepreneurs, there was an article in the Atlanta Constitution called The Color of Money. And the premise of The Color of Money, we had a county commissioner named Michael Lomax in Atlanta, and his parents left him some property. Now he's a county commissioner, left him their home, and he decided he wanted to refurbish that home. HGTV, that home is what I call it. My wife has got me hooked on HGTV, Property Brothers, and Loving Unlisted. Okay, y'all don't look at Loving Unlisted. So he decided that he wanted to refurbish his home. And the bank called him in and said, you know, you're good for the money. We know you got a job. This is okay. But we don't want to lend you money to build the house in that neighborhood where he grew up, where his mother lived. So when we think about the complexities, when our president tells us, oh, you know, there's nothing wrong, everything has been right, but he has lost his mind. Now let me tell you what I mean by that. My father graduated from college in 1953. He graduated from Alcorn State University in Mississippi. When he graduated and was drafted into the Korean conflict, served in the Korean conflict for 4 years. We left there, served in the military for 4 years. Left there to get his master's degree at Tuskegee Institute, 1957 to 1959. When he graduated with a master's degree, having served 4 years, and with the certification to be a principal or a teacher, 1959, when he went back to Mississippi, he could not vote. He could not vote until he was 35 years old. Voting Rights Act, 1960. Now, a lot of people say, well, Mississippi, I kind of expected that. But it was true in Florida, and Georgia, and South Carolina, and North Carolina, and Kentucky, and Tennessee, and Arkansas. Let's see, I won't leave Alabama or Louisiana out, and especially Texas.
That's right.
Okay, and now you say, now, what do you mean? Well, we also have to remind you that Jackie Robinson was court-martialed at Fort Hood in 1943 for not leaving his seat. And the guy who told him to move, he outranked. And the guy said, look, the driver said, you need to move out of the seat. He said, you need to drive us to where we're going. But as soon as they got to where they were going, they arrested him and court-martialed him for not leaving the seat and going to the back of the bus. So when we talk about how we got here, and we talk about why participating in public service is significant and important, it is because we have not always had access, we have not always had opportunity. And it is important that we recognize that it's only going, that you only guarantee your own interests by working with people who share similar interests and are locked out as well. Who would have thought that after 2020, a woman would not have the right to choose? Who would have thought that? We thought that battle was over, didn't we? But at the end of the day, when we don't work together, we can start at choice. And then we go for voting rights. And then we go. And at the end of the day, if we don't learn how to love each other and work together to change our circumstances, if we don't learn how to coalesce and make sure that the right things are done for everybody, we don't do those things, they will hang us all individually. It is our choice and an important opportunity for us to understand that we've got to protect each other's interests. We've got to be fair to each other. But as we talk about being fair to us, we've got to think about the others that also fall in that same definition. I mentioned, why am I involved in public service and all? My first time I voted in 1980. I voted for Jimmy Carter. He did not win, but one of the reasons I voted for Jimmy Carter was Ronald Reagan came to the place where the civil rights workers. Oh, I'm just getting warm. Okay, I'll go quickly. Ronald Reagan came to the place in Philadelphia, Mississippi, where 3 civil rights workers were put. And he said he was going to operate under a states' rights platform. What that meant to me and to my buddies was, if Emmett Till had been killed that day, the FBI would not have come down. It would have been the state of Mississippi doing what the state of Mississippi does. And that is what this president is allowing today. So when you ask me why am I a Democrat, wrap it up. When you ask me why I'm a Democrat, part of it is because when James Meredith wanted to go to Ole Miss in 1960, and they were shooting at them and they were throwing bombs at them, John Kennedy federalized the National Guard so that they responded to him, not to the governor of Mississippi. 1962, he did the same thing in Alabama. 1963, Lyndon Johnson made sure that J. Edgar Hoover told him who the killers were of the 3 civil rights movements. We began to believe that the government would actually use its power and authority to help the community. We have to prove again that our government will use its power to help people do basic things that every citizen deserves. Until we have that, we move towards oligarchy. And when I say that, we will begin to look more like Russia than America. And it's only when we work together that we can build the community that we deserve. So I'm Baptist, I talk a long time. This is actually my church.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Jeffrey Travillion. And every time he stands before us, he is definitely a historian. And it's really important to know where you've been in order to know where you're going. So thank you so much for that. We're going to transition at this time into an interactive experience where we actually have a conversation about what is needed in Pflugerville, specifically around Black-owned businesses. Myself and Ms. Carol will be actually moving around. I have a few people I've already said I'm going to, but what I actually want to do, Ms. Carol, is start at the back of the room and actually ask one of our businesses what we can do for you. How about that? Please be thinking about some questions, comments that you may have. Grandmaster, please stand.
He's my instructor now. I thought her husband saw it. I just think, coming from our commissioner, Jeff, we should work together to support one another. There shouldn't be any separation in our culture. I believe that iron sharpens iron. I believe when we are on one page that we can go forward with businesses and make them successful. But the only way we can become successful is if we support one another. So it's just like we have kids at British every year, we call it TUG, Teens Under God. We use that in our school, Teens Under God. That means the teenagers, they know about the law, and they know what career that they're going to. I got a young man that started with me when he was 4 years old. He's already got, at 18 years old, his real estate license. And his mom was a senior parent. And he's been with me, like I said, 14 years. And we cried, me and him cried, we picked up. Because you see a young man from 4 and turn into a grown man at 18. And with our help, we don't only teach karate, we teach life skills, business skills. So when they come and ask him or me, Grandmaster Richardson, he's been with me over 30-some years in my business. He's been my right arm. He's like a brother from another mother. So I want to give him his due, but we have to stay together. We have to work together.
You just gave a whole advertisement. Thank you. Make sure y'all get some time in your life. Carol, you had a very important question, so that other people feel comfortable asking some of the uncomfortable questions. I'm going to go ahead and put you on the spot and ask you to ask that question at this time.
So one of my questions as I work with other communities has always been, as an old white lady, how do I support other people? How do I support other communities without sounding like I'm patronizing?
Okay, it looks like the mic is being turned over to Patricia. First of all, Patricia, was the question actually clear, and did Ms. Carol make it too pretty?
So, Ms. Carol, it sounded like you were asking, just how do you support us? Okay. I think the main way to just support, Black business is just to come and do business with us. Like, and also share what we do with other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a good experience, or just share that through a review, or come and tell us and just share, because I think a lot of us are kind of overlooked, or for opportunities to do different things within the community, or just even be known that we exist. So, just off the top, that's what I think. I mean, if you think, and just come support us and share your experiences with us.
Thank you so much. Dr. Terry Flood, looks like you have your hand up to make a response to that. Can y'all tell on the radio, lady, this mic is just really hot. I don't know what's wrong with their mic over there.
Yes, to answer your question, I just attended 2 United Way meetings this week. Nobody that looked like me was in the room. So I'm glad that I went, but you can't plan for us without us. So if you really want to help us, just engage and ask on an individual level, because what this business needs is totally different from what the next business needs. But we need representation. We need a place at the table. We need to have our voices heard. We don't need you to speak for us. And so if that starts, and you can bring us into those spaces and allow those introductions and the ability to network and collaborate, we can grow and we can elevate and expand and build up, scale out. But if people are trying to do all the work for us without us, it's not going to work, because that's just not how life is set up. And I think I really appreciate your question, knowing where you currently stand, but there is a way to get there, and it is just being more inclusive and engaging, so that you can not just fish for us, but show us how to fish.
Come on.
And that's what I'm trying to do with my organization. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That's good. By the way, this is not a one and done conversation. We're asked, sometimes the question is more important than the answer, because we plan on taking these questions so we can do something with it. So thank you so much. I've also asked Dennis to come up. He probably wrote his whole question. Come on.
What are the resources? So let's say that I want to support Black-owned businesses. What are the resources that allow me to easily find, and be able to curate for my own needs, Black-owned businesses?
Normally I run around my tambourine. Come on now.
I think you identified a really big gap. However, I'm working with this organization called APX in Color, and then my organization, we are building a collaborative tool where you can find all the Black-owned businesses in this area and nationwide, because that is a real gap. So it is true, but all the resources and data points are there. It's about bringing it all together. And a fact is too that 50% of Black-owned companies don't even have websites. So we have work to do in that area too. So if we want to be discovered and be found, we have to be present too. So it's a two-way street. But
And that is why we have the collective advocate. Notice how we're doing some advertising here at the same time? I have a question for every Black-owned business in the room, and for those that are not even represented. My question to you would be, why Pflugerville? Okay, the popcorn lady would like to talk to us about this.
Pflugerville is such a gem, such a unique place in Central Texas. Pflugerville has the most diverse population of all of Central Texas. We should be so proud of that. I mean, we should be proud of it. Pflugerville has all the schools in Texas need work, but comparatively, Pflugerville has wonderful schools. We have wonderful communities, we have wonderful trails. We could do better with diversity. I've had several conversations about that, Mayor. But, represented in our government, and this is just an amazing community, and we have so much potential. Still, we haven't even defined who we are really as a community.
That's because we got to come out of hiding.
But we're doing such a good job, and I want to commend Mayor Weiss, our council members, our economic development officer. There's so much happening in Pflugerville, and I couldn't imagine, really, Patricia Bedford, who I'm honored to call my friend and mentee and mentor, depending on what the situation is, she will not run her business anywhere but in Pflugerville. There's so much loyalty here, and there's so much good people, so that's why I run my business here, because you can't find another place like us anywhere else.
Thank you. I want to make sure I ask April Kearney. Now, I told you all that she does hair. Now, there's a lot of people in the room that doesn't look like me. I need to give her the microphone. April Kearney, do you serve other hairstyles? I know that's an uncomfortable question. People want to know, why would we come to Grace and Sage if we have a different hairstyle, different texture? Like, why? I'm keeping it clear. Why would white people want to come to your Black business and get their hair done?
Good morning, family, and I call you all family because I love my community, and I am so excited to have my business here. I've been a business owner in Pflugerville for over 20 years. So, to answer your question, Councilwoman Kim and my sister, Grace and Sage, which is our new business that we just opened up a week and a half ago off of First Street in downtown Pflugerville, is a community wellness studio. So I have pivoted after 34 years of but a cosmetologist, into a trichologist wellness specialist. And so that's not a black, brown, green, ethnicity, male, female theme. It's about living well.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to say even to the first question, we're humans. I led with saying, hey family, because you guys breathe the same air that we do. You have 2 feet, 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs. You hurt, we hurt. We're all living in the same economic environment. That's why we're all here, right? So you spend your dollars where your heart is. That's in the Bible. So what I ask is that when you are in need, reach out to who can fulfill the need. Does it matter? Black, brown, white? But consider us, because we're here doing work. I live with an autoimmune disorder, and Grace and Sage is a wellness studio. I have a garden that I grow the herbs that I use in my practice with. I have a head spa that actually you can come in and get relief from inflammation, neuropathy, pain. I have an autoimmune kitchen where I teach you how to cook the meals that work good for your body. So I said all that to say it's not a black, brown, white, green, racial thing for my business at Grace and Sage. We're here in the community. We're here for family. And I'm here for everyone to be able to show up well because we have a lot of work to do. And if you're sick, you can't do it. Beauty starts from the inside out. That's how I found myself in this space because women weren't as beautiful as they could be because they were sick. And so I needed to find a solution to help women and men and families show up well. So that's what Grace and Sage is. Come and see me. We are full of all things wellness.
Thank you so much. And she also serves kind of specifically, I believe, on the spectrum. And so just, it was set up specifically for that. Okay. I think we're wrapping it up, but I've given almost everybody back here our businesses an opportunity to speak. And so I need to allow you the opportunity to do the same. Share with us very quickly who you are and what you do.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm actually here representing my mother. She is also a health and wellness business. She sells supplements for just your overall health in your body. I'm also a business owner as well. I'm a personal trainer. So if anybody's interested in that, please come to me.
Thank you so much. And by the way, I'm a wedding officiant, and so I'm so excited to see that love is still working back here at the back of the room. If you need to get married, just call me. I'll do that for you too. I'm always looking for a new stream of income. Any questions in this room? This is a great time to ask questions. We're going to answer truthfully and authentically. One last question here from PCDC.
I don't have a question, just a quick comment. If for whatever reason, if you are a business owner.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. We need to make sure we make it official.
Okay, sorry about that. If you are a business owner, if you have an idea about a business, if you just don't even know what you want to do, but you think you might have an idea of what you want to do, come by and see us. We are serious about meeting with businesses and at least placing you with the resources or at least contacting and helping you connect with those resources. You can email me directly, jerryj@pfdevelopment.com. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find it for you.
Thank you so much. I think that's a great ending right there. For you to know that PCDC, which is your Economic Development Corporation here in Pflugerville, is also supportive of Black-owned businesses. And if you want to know more about that, Sugar's Cakery can tell you more about that. No? I thought so. All right. I think that's it. It has been my pleasure to love and serve you all. We look forward to having this conversation again. I'm going to turn it back over to Carol.
So we are an organization and we do have business as well as programs. The old business is the approval of the minutes by the members. They are on the back of the agenda. They're also online. I will tell you right now that Holly takes such a marvelous, detailed minutes that I would have had to type. I would have had 5 pages of paper here. So I abbreviated the ones that are on the back of the agenda. Should you want to see the rest of them, they are on the website. So I would like a motion to approve the minutes from the May meeting. Allison? Second? Dennis? All in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. The membership report.
I just want to say that when I became vice president, I set myself a goal of 200 members by June. So that's like this month. And so thank you so much, Kelly Daniel. You are our 200th member. It was achieved, and now I need a new goal. So I'm going to think of a new one, and I'll be communicating it for sure. So that's our membership report. We have 200 members. And I counted very fast. I know we're over time. I just want to recognize Sherry Marshall, because when I reached out to her and said, if we want to do outreach to various communities, what do we do? And she said, girl, the businesses. And so she's part of the chamber. She has a business too. So I just want to highlight that this was really her idea.
And our treasurer?
Come up there.
Howdy, my name is Prince Fletcher, if I haven't met you yet. Give you a quick update on the financials. We're running fairly flat for the year still. Our ending balance for May is $47 less than it was when we started. We started with $25,245. Income was $1,292. Expenses were $1,338. So our ending balance was $25,198. For the most part, the majority of our expenses were on 2 things. One was that lovely shirt that Dana's wearing, which you can order from our website. And then the other big chunk was for signs, which you can also order from the website. That's all.
And Tabby is showing you we have the QR codes, and back should you want a calorie fill, a Hinojosa, or a Goodwin sign in your yard. T-shirts for the Goodwin that are Pflugerville centric.
one on.
Dana's old. Where's the camera?
So you want to?
You'll notice it says, let's have a Goodwin for Pflugerville. All right. Then the executive committee met, and we talked, of course, about this meeting and how it would work. We also talked a bit about the picnic. So right now, the picnic is between 2 locations. We're still waiting for some information, but it will be on September 19th. So if your calendar's handy, you might want to circle that date. Communications committee, any report?
Let me get out of my
As
chair.
he jumps out of his special chair.
Yeah.
So very grateful that we got a social media person to help us, Nicholas Espinoza. He's been working with Claire Reynolds, and we're very grateful to bring him on the team. So when you see posts coming out from social media, think of Nick. If you need, or if you have other social media needs, Nick is a great guy to work with.
Thank you. That concludes our old business. Are there any candidates who would like to speak at this moment?
Hi, everyone. I am Siobhan. I am currently serving as your Place 7 Pflugerville ISD Board of Trustee, and I'm also your current board president. And so if you follow my social media, you'll see that I've announced my intent to run for re-election. And I look forward to meeting with people, discussing all of the difficult topics that we have been discussing for quite some time now. We've made tremendous progress, but not without a lot of pain and sacrifice. And those discussions have to continue. And I genuinely believe that doing it through collaboration with our community and leading with compassion, but also fiscal responsibility with centering our students and educators, every moment that we are making difficult decisions, it will require compassionate leadership and connection and engagement with our community. And I have my first fundraiser on June 20th. So please feel free to follow my page on social media and sign up to support or come to another event. I'll be posting there regularly. And I look forward to speaking with all of you.
Okay, I am a candidate actually for SDEC, which is the State Democratic Party Executive Committee. And it will be from CD11. All of Pflugerville is now in CD11. So we're all together in that for the first time in several decades. If you are planning on being in Corpus Christi as a delegate, I certainly would appreciate your vote. We also have a few members here from the TCDP, the TDP, the TCDP, the alphabet soup of our lives. But I think we have a few countywide announcements.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Pflugerville area Dems. Yes, my name is Inette. I am a regional organizer for the Travis County Democratic Party. And I wanted to ask who's ready to turn Texas blue? And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, Texas cannot turn blue without our Black brothers and sisters. We need their vote to turn Texas blue. And, we're having a lot of events coming up. It's very exciting. So the Travis County Democratic Party is going to be walking at the Juneteenth parade on June 19th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we need a lot of folks there. So if you'd like to walk or, register people to vote at our information booth, come talk to me after. I'll give you all some more information. And then we are having our coordinated campaign kickoff on June the 20th. And we have an office. We just opened our office down south on Bannister. It's like by South First. It's awesome. It's going to be June 20th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you want some more information, come see me in the back. It's going to be a party, and we're turning Texas blue, so hopefully y'all can come and make it. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to let you know, the Pflugerville office will also be having folks from the coordinated campaign working out of Pflugerville. And if you don't know what the coordinated campaign is, it is an effort, a job, a way of all of the candidates working together with the county party to build enthusiasm in our voters, in our folks who are knocking on those doors. Kim's going to go out with me, I know she is, and knock on some doors. And so the coordinated campaign will be looking for volunteers who are willing to go out and knock on doors in June, what's left of it, July and August. And the folks we're going to be talking to in the summer months are people who don't vote in primaries. So we have no idea what their inclination is as far as voting in the fall. And we'll be identifying those folks by talking to them about what are the issues that you're facing. What are the problems you're having that you would like to see the government address? What do you want our elected officials to be spending their focus time on? So we'll be doing that through the end of August, and then we're going to switch to we know you're a Democrat, or at least we know you're going to vote for our Democratic candidates. We need to get you to the polls. So how do we do that? Do we send you a reminder? Do we put a sign in your yard for you? Do we have you help do some postcards? What are we going to do to get those folks involved? So thinking of your neighbors, your friends, your family, which of those people can you reach out to? And I'd like to take a moment. I haven't done this for a while, but every once in a while there's somebody who just pops up because they're doing some stuff that's a little bit above and beyond. And so Scott Hoggart has his new precinct chair, and he has He started door knocking. He's been out in his community. He's now working on some business cards to hand out. And as a note, if any of you are working in a campaign and you need some business cards, if you bring me the paper, we'll print it for you. So we can help out in that direction. Are there any other announcements from the group for the good of the group?
So Dr. Terry Flade is sending me a link where we can find where some of the local Black businesses are. So we will host that. Jonathan said we can host that on our website. I'll also post it on our Facebook page.
All right, with that, I have been told to nicely, very nicely, with please and thank you involved, to remind you that the businesses at the back will be here for a few minutes. Please stop by and see what they have to offer and take some information with you to share with others in your community. With that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment. Moved by Siobhan, second. G is a second, and so all those in favor of adjourning? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you all for coming. We'll see you hopefully in July.
Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Okay, so sorry.